Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel called Zuzanareacts, where I learn all things Bharat with your help, and I just share my Slovak Central European point of view. And in today's video, we're going to look into India versus Canada. It seems it's still a bit of a hot potato going out there. You guys wanted me to react to that. You also gave me some background on it, which is really greatly beneficial. So we're going to look into this today as per Karolina's video. But before we do,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
okay, so let's look into how is the world actually reacting on the India versus Canada issue as discussed by Karolina.
India versus Canada. How is the world reacting to this? Who is taking India's side and who is taking Canada's side? Let's explore that in this video. But before that, let's try to understand what is going on between the two nations. So India-Canada ties are hitting a new low, and unfortunately it seems that this is only the beginning. So Justin Trudeau has accused India of a killing on Canadian soil. And as you can see here, Canada expelled an Indian diplomat who was described as the head of India's intelligence agency in Canada. India rejected the allegations by Canada, calling them absurd and motivated. India pointed out that such allegations seek to shift the focus from Khalistani terrorists and extremists who have been provided shelter in Canada and continue to threaten India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The official statement from India also mentioned that the space given in Canada to a range of illegal activities, including murders, human trafficking, and organized crime, is not new.
So I'll just stop for a tiny bit there. I believe this is all what you guys have already shared with me. Yeah, so let's continue.
India has also counter-attacked Canada by expelling a senior Canadian diplomat. So Canada, a colonial criminal state, can't be taken lightly. And of course, India seems to be quite concerned as Canada has deep ties with the Western hypocrisy. Western democracies. So how is the world reacting to all this? Let's check it out. To start with, the USA hasn't released anything that clearly favors India in this matter. Take a look at this. As reported by Reuters, US National Security Council spokesperson Adrienne Watson said in a statement, "We are deeply concerned about the allegations referenced by Prime Minister Trudeau earlier today." The American media outlet New York Times has published this article, and please take a look at the choice of words here. The man who many in India refer to as a terrorist, according to what is written here, was a Sikh community leader. And this article by Al Jazeera refers to him as Sikh activist. Rishi Sunak, who according to many has shown some sort of spine against the Khalistanis, is expected to give a clear statement on this development. As reported here earlier, Rishi had said, "We are working closely with our partners in the Indian government to tackle the threat from pro-Khalistan extremism, and the British police are fully empowered to deal with violent acts." It would be interesting to see if Rishi has a similar viewpoint when it comes to the ongoing situation in Canada. And how about France? Well, France has a history of maintaining some sort of independence when it comes to its foreign policy, and it hasn't always blindly followed the so-called collective West. But then France and Canada also maintain a solid relationship, as their relationship is based on strong ties between their peoples and cultures and the shared French language. On the other hand, France is unlikely to be keen to spoil its ties with India, a country that is an emerging superpower. But then, French state-owned international news channel France 24 uses words that are not going to please India. Read this: killing of a Sikh activist. Yes, for many Indians, a terrorist, but for the French state-owned international news channel, he was a Sikh activist. Pakistan's position is well known. It has been observed that Pakistan is obsessed about spreading terrorism in India and has exploited the Sikh community to achieve its nefarious agenda. On numerous occasions, the newspapers in Pakistan have glorified the Sikh extremists and have shown them as heroes. So definitely, the ties between India and Canada are hitting a new low, but can India and Canada really afford to be each other's enemy? Can it be something like India and Pakistan? Well, as far as India and Pakistan are concerned, it was observed that India and Pakistan have a little economic contact, but on the other hand, India and Canada are deeply intertwined in so many ways. For example, Canada hosts one of the largest Indian diasporas in the world, numbering 1.6 million people of Indian origin, accounting for more than 3% of the total Canadian population and 700,000 NRIs. Canadian pension funds have cumulatively invested around $55 billion in India. More than 600 Canadian companies have a presence in India, and more than 1,000 companies are actively pursuing business in the Indian market. Indian companies in Canada are active in information technology, software, steel, natural resources, and banking sectors. And as reported by the MEA, recently India became the top source of foreign students studying in Canada. So the situation is complex, and it is important that both nations find an effective solution before things get worse.
Well, very interesting. I guess what really goes in my mind is, you don't really want to know what goes into my mind. Okay, so to me, I personally am not a fan of politics because I think it is here to perhaps divide rather than unite. I wish people are paying attention to themselves and becoming better people. That is kind of my philosophy, regardless of what is going on. Obviously, what is going on, it's not really nice. I think it's very obvious for anyone to see that perhaps there is the word I don't want to use starts with A and finishes in A. That particular country has against particular country. This is just a nature of politics, and obviously, we've seen New York Times giving false information, etc. This is where I believe people in the West, the ones that I would consider to, if let's say they want to have more interest, they don't follow mainstream media, they ignore stuff like that. I want to emphasize, because of the comments that I'm reading, that people actually do know what's going on. She had a little dig on hypocrisies. We're very well aware of hypocrisies that are happening here. People are not blind. So the only people you could be really angry at is the media, and there is not that much we can do. Obviously, it is sponsored by different interests. The question is, if you personally want to give to those interests and you want to entertain those stories, narratives, obviously, if I would be in your place, I would not be excited when someone would be telling this about my country, and especially when I would feel like this is factually unfounded. Now, I feel like politics has been historically divide and conquer and to create negativity. And this is why I've stepped away from this years ago, because you create your reality based on what you focus. And my message, it's good to be observant, it's good to be aware of what's going on, but it's important not to feed the narrative. So if you are as a result of that feeling negative, you are translating it's into your own reality. Why do you want to feel angry? Why do you feel agitated? Why do you want to feel frustrated? So this is kind of what I feel like is happening. They're creating I believe sometimes they're very smart people behind all of this, because they're manipulating the vibrational frequency of the word. If we know the fact that universe is basically all energy and everything resonates at a certain frequency, etc. Just think about it from that angle. That is what I invite you to do, and I would really invite you to not be reactive to that. Kind of information that you believe is blindly false, and just really focus on positive things, because positivity will then dispel the negativity, and I think that's pretty much the message that I would want to leave you with today. It's not perhaps what you would have expected, but that is the reason why I stopped looking at politics like 20 years ago, because I don't feel it adds anything beneficial to my life. I think it's important to be aware of what is going on, but I think it's super important not to feed the narrative and directly create your reality and focus your energy, because you create where the energy flows, type of thing. So focus on positive things, and you will not be able to fight the battles with the big stream media. I don't think personally that there is a point. And you just have to see this play out and not feed that narrative and not feed any kind of negativity. Maybe for me as a third party, easier said than done. But trust me, if anything like that would be happening in Slovakia, I would feel exactly kind of the same. So this is it for today's video. If you did like it, please give a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe to this channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, please do take care. Much love. Bye-bye.